It says test, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Why is that not right? Apologies. That is so weird. I'm gonna fix the mic just a second. Depending on the day, it needs not the day, but depending on something, and it changes different days. I have to have more gain on it than others, like significantly more. There we go. Now we're in the yellow. Okay. Alright. And as I go, mute that. Alrighty, so this is a bonus. Not really a bonus. It matches the number I normally do of streams a week, 5. But I missed, due to not feeling well, I missed one of the Ramsey show after show shows this week, so I thought I would do one because neither of my teams are playing this weekend. And so I may also do another one tomorrow, and that would be at the same time on Sunday, December 8th, and that would be also at 4 p.m. So let's get into it. I'm Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. The link is on the ticker below and also in the video description. Actually, it's not right this second, but I will be later. My other financial content, you just scroll down and you'll see the Ramsey show after show, and there are 432 of those. And this is number 137 of answering your financial questions as I put do not disturb on my phone. Money coming in there, so excellent. Always good to get that ding, always, when cash is coming in. Also, the music playlist has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there, including That's What Gives Financial Peace. That's what gives financial peace. Do 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 do. And How to Do the Baby Steps Right. So listen to those if you are so inclined. And we go to reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey. And we sort by new. And almost done with these, completely caught up. You do not want to balance transfer away and constantly be moving it to zero interest balance and stuff like that, because that teaches you to keep having a loan, and you're not supposed to do that. Just pay off the loan. And I don't think we did this one. 10K in a brokerage account. Okay, I mean, you can do any brokerage that you've heard of. I would recommend, Fidelity. I can recommend because I like them. I chose them based on pictures of their interface, so have not had any problems with that, and with Fidelity at all with anything. Baby step 6 flare here. Hey guys, 34 years old. My house is paid off and make $100,000 a year. Max 401k at 23,500 a year, right? Roth IRA at 7,000 a year, right? Those are max. After all expenses, I have $16,399.51, oddly specific. I want to invest 10K a year into brokerage, and I don't need it for at least 8 years. What's that for? house. Upgrade house. I wonder what that's for. It doesn't say though. The other $6,399.51, oddly specific again, I'll use for house renovations a year. After a year, maybe? I don't know. I also have another 20,000 plus in high yield savings account for emergency fund. I don't touch. What's the best investments in a brokerage to go into? If you have ones that beat the index inside your Roth IRA, I mean your 401k and your Roth IRA, you can use those same ones. You could also do the four-way split. If you're not doing that already, you could also do the four-way split that Mr. Ramsey advises. Of course, that's for retirement when he puts money like that he uses for when he wants to use the market for a piggy bank, rather, for his real estate purchases. He puts that money into a brokerage account, and it is he puts that in an S&P 500 index fund. And he only does that for his piggy bank for real estate buying. For retirement, it is still the four-way split into small, mid, large cap, and international mutual funds. But as far as where, yeah, so where doesn't matter. Theoretically, you would be able to buy any mutual fund at any brokerage. So first you say where, so that means what brokerage, and then now you're asking what's the best investments to go to. Also, if your house is paid off, you're not in baby step 6 anymore. So that's not how that works. So don't know what's going on there. So that you're in baby step 7 then, theoretically. So that's wrong as well. But in brokerages, they're pretty much the same. You don't want to go with a fad one like Acorns or, oh God, what's that? Robinhood. I wouldn't do that. Go with a brokerage that you've heard of that's been around for years and years and years and years. Midwest Beth 43. Shout out to the Midwest. Moving to the next phase of my life. Should I sell my house? Background, boyfriend and I are moving forward in our relationship and getting married. Oh no. And we'll be getting engaged in 2025 and married thereafter. Okay. By the time we're married, we'll be debt free. He currently has a few $1,000 left on a car loan. He owns a home with a mortgage, which I will move to once married, and we will live there for the next 3 to 5 years until we find our forever home. Not a thing. We're currently debating if we should sell my house when I move in with him or if we should rent it out until we're ready to buy our next home. If we sell, what short-term investment should I put the anticipated 80 to 100K from the sale? You shouldn't be a landlord just because you have an extra house. You should only be a landlord if you actually want to be a landlord. It is not easy. You do have problems, and if your house has expenses that you end up, like a new roof, for example, there goes all your profit for the year. Congratulations. So much better to sell. And so what you would put that in, if you want to, you can use the market as a piggy bank for that down payment for the new house. If you have 5 years before you're going to buy it. So let's see, what is it? For the next 3 to 5 years until we find our forever home. So if you can commit to waiting 5 years, then you can, and of course you can always change that if the market's not down in 3 years. But you got to be prepared to stay out of home buying if the market's down, because you don't want to take the loss, or you don't want to take not a good gain either. So, but that would be up to you. But I would try to have 5 years before you do that. Otherwise, you're looking at a high yield savings account. It's going to be probably the best thing you can do outside of the market. Traditional Apple 103 student loans. I've never consolidated the loans I've pulled over the years for different certificates and licenses. All the scary false information I've just paid. All the scary false information I've just paid and never enough. I owe more than I took. What? And really want to get this under control, okay? I've been in student loan debt since 18 to disabled parents, and neither went to college. Wasn't really given direction, and I'm paying for not understanding the process. Well, you just pay it off. That's not hard to do. You just pay it off instead of consolidating. Recommendation on the best way to help myself to pay it off as soon as possible. Also, single mom, working full time. I've always worked 2 jobs. However, just returned to work after 7 weeks off due to health issue. Finances are and have been hard, but things have to get better. Yeah, so you would not be buying anything that's not 100% necessary while you pay off your dumb debt. So, and that includes Starbucks. You don't do Starbucks. You make your coffee at home. That kind of thing. And so no eating out either. Anything that's not 100% necessary, you do not do while you pay off your dumb, stupid debt. And that's all you have to do. There's nothing else to understand. That is an ad. It says promoted right there. Eating out at restaurants for the holidays. We're on baby step 6, so that is approved. Steps 4, 5, and 6, restaurants are approved for you. You just put it in the budget. There you go. Greetings and Merry Christmas to whoever is watching. Thank you so much. Whether it be live or later. We're in baby step 6. Once again, I may or may not, haven't decided yet whether I'm going to do another stream tomorrow. That would be Sunday the 8th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, but that's when it would be if I do that. We officially started the baby steps earlier this year, and both my husband and I are enjoying seeing the progress. That's awesome if you can start the baby steps and be on 6 the same year, and that could be for a number of reasons. That could be for, like, if you don't have any debt, you get to skip step 2. If you already have sufficient savings to be an emergency fund, you get to skip step 3. And if you're already investing 15% of your gross income, you're already doing step 4. Then it's just address kid college and pay off the house early. And so they're on the pay off the house early step. And maybe doing, still investing and perhaps kid college. Let's see. Just wondering how people handle holiday/birthday invitations for restaurants. Oh, I see. We haven't eaten out for years and usually just decline the invite. My husband already can't eat the food because he's on a strict medical diet. Interesting. Kids are picky and I've never liked eating out, so it's been easy. Well, you can continue to decline because it doesn't sound like anybody will be eating at those restaurants because the kids are picky and husband can't eat the food. So, I mean, maybe you go by yourself. But we're invited to a kid's birthday dinner at the Olive Garden. Being family, they told us that the child really wants us there. Okay, great. And, you know, parents say that kind of stuff. Whether that's true or not, we do not know, but they could. They told us that everyone will pay for themselves. Just wondering how people handle the situation. If it's not in the budget, is it rude? I mean, baby step 6 is when things like this you can put in the budget, but you can still make the call to not do it. See what the rest of that is. Oh, is it rude to go and not order? No, it's not rude. Why would that be rude? I mean, you can order drinks or something. or maybe a like a dessert, maybe. Maybe you can eat ahead of time, maybe stuff the kids like at home and that kind of thing, and maybe get a dessert or something like that. Maybe just for the kids, and you don't have to do it. I appreciate you wanting to pay off that house earlier and not spend money on this. Or maybe it's just maybe money's tight, even paying off the mortgage payment without even putting extra to it. That might be, I don't know. But if it's not in the budget, you can add things to the budget as you get an invitation. You can do that, especially if you're on step 6. It makes it much easier to do that. So I would just do that. Let's see, or just order a drink or dessert. I have a $10 gift card. Yeah, exactly. You just order. You can order like one dessert for the kids to share, even something like that, and keep the cost down if you deem that to be what you should do. You're the one in charge. You're the adult. You get to make these decisions. Especially at the holidays, it's nice to see friends and family. Angeloa, 22, 21-year-old. All right, maybe it should be Angeloa 21. Just maxed out my Roth IRA for the first time. Congratulations. Now I still have about 20K to put to work for me. What are my best options for long-term investments? Cheers. You could do an HSA. If your employer offers the 401k, you could put it in that. But a health savings account you can use for an investment purpose. And also, if you have any medical expenses, you can run it through there as well. I don't know if you can put 20K a year into it, so you may have to split it up. But HSA is what some Richies use, or actually not even Richies. Anybody can do it. You just have to have a high deductible health insurance plan, and then you can do a health savings account, and that is tax advantaged, and so that's what makes it a good investment. Stunning Highway 7559. Can I afford to take my wife out for a nice birthday dinner? Well, you guys set the budget, so you can choose to do that no matter what baby step you're on. When you say a nice birthday dinner, maybe it's something very chill. Like, for example, if the wife likes Raising Cane's or something like that, where it would be $10 a piece ish, you could do that. But generally, like a waitress place, you're going to pay more for that. So let's see. 32 man, it's my wife's birthday in about 5 weeks. That's awesome that you're thinking of her anyway. She wants to go to Steak 44. Okay, so she wants to do it. All right, so she's going to approve it as far as her vote in the budget, which is a very expensive steakhouse in our area. Total meal with drinks will probably be around $250. We have around $15K in emergency fund and combined income around $120K. I'm nervous to take her out because this will eat into our savings. How much saving? The 15 is going out to for a birthday dinner is not an emergency, so you would not use that money. So I'm not understanding here what's going on. You also didn't say what baby step you're on. So, like, if you're in baby step 2, a $250 dinner, that's probably going to be a no for me, dog. If you're on step 4, 5, and 6, if you're doing those, then that means you do it. And you shouldn't, if you're paying off debt, you wouldn't have the full emergency fund anyway. And 15K may not be a full emergency fund either, so I would get the full emergency fund in place before doing anything like this. So yeah, steps 1, 2, and 3. I'm not doing a $250 dinner, but anything that you people agree to as a married couple, that would supersede the baby steps, even per Mr. Ramsey, because you're the one trying to stay married, so you work with your wife on what you guys think is best for you. So, but I would not recommend it for sure, unless you're on baby step 4. I'm curious. Let's just check. Let's just check to see if the OP, the original poster, way back in here. Of course, you get all your different. Bruh, what a wacky question. Yep. Baby step 4, 5, and 6. Absolutely, absolutely. If he's on baby step 4, sure. How much debt or bills, right? So let's see. I'm just looking to see. Again, it would say OP right next to the original poster's name. No, it didn't weigh in, so we don't have any more information. So I can't give a full answer, but definitive answer. But it's if you're on step 4, sure, why not? Because theoretically you would have been sacrificing things so far. But again, make sure you're doing the baby steps correctly as well. Nervous to take her out because this will eat into our savings. Well, I wouldn't use any savings for an extravagant expense like that. I would just put it in the budget and cash flow it. If it's in about 5 weeks, so that gives you time to put it into next month's budget. How about that? So you put it in next month's budget and cash flow it if you're again on baby step 4 or higher. DIY, try or guy. All right, do it yourself, try or guy. Totally debt free. Congratulations. Had done things a bit backwards inish. Baby steps are completely new to me. I've only recently, doing them backwards, I guess better than not being cognizant of paying off debt at all. But yeah, like if you're doing the house before you do a freaking credit card, that's pretty dumb. I've only recently started listening to the Ramsey Show. Okay, got in a bad credit card debt when I was 18. I got two $2,000 credit cards. Had phone lines and collections, and I've always been in some debt. Though only credit cards primarily. One new car when I was 19, which was paid off a couple years after purchase. I've been watching and then listening at work. Watching and then listening at work. There it is. Financial audit. Okay, that's your Caleb Hammer podcast. Recently, I've stumbled on the Ramsey Show and had some things a bit backwards for the baby steps. All right, let's drag those up here. Scroll them up here, rather. So we have those ready to go. Backwards with baby steps. I had $5,000 in a line of credit with monthly interest around $50, but had $7,200 sitting in savings as my emergency fund. And the people that are the worst off, they generally don't have savings instead. But normal people seem to think that you should have debt, but then have a bunch in savings as well, instead of using that savings money to pay off the debt. And that's, of course, what you would do. You would only have $1,000 in savings while you have any non-mortgage debt. Let's see. But right, $7,200 sitting in savings as emergency fund, right? And you should only have $1,000. While you have non-mortgage debt. I just paid off my final debt and now totally debt-free. Great. I've also been chipping away at payments over the year. I've lowered my phone bill by $100. Okay, lowered my car insurance by $50, and have also bought my second cash vehicle. Okay. I have a truck that I was using on a daily. Gas was costing me around $4.50 a month, and now I'm paying around $200, and should save a lot of maintenance costs with my pickup. Okay. This year alone, I've spent around $5K on repairs. This was basically my last debt reasoning. I did not have much emergency fund prior to, which is why I put the repairs on credit, which I did myself and saved money there as well. Planning on getting to $7,500 as emergency fund while also investing. No, you don't do that. That's a no. And so people don't understand that. They look at this and they think, well, I'll just do them all at the same time, or I'll just do multiple at the same time. 1, 2, and 3, you do one at a time. You want to have your full emergency fund, and I mean, I guess 7,500 could be 3 months. This is sounds like a younger gentleman. Oh, but it says baby step 2 right there. So you would not have a savings. You would pay off your, but it does say, it says debt free, but step 2 flare there. So confused me. But I got it now. We'll assume best case scenario that the title is right, and that's totally debt free. While also investing a few hundred a month as well, so I can earn some dividends. You don't chase dividends, you chase overall gains. A lot of people do chase dividends, and they base everything on that, and that is dumb as crap. I've almost always owed money, and for the first time in my life, I feel like I have a handle on my finances and do not owe any money. Great. Just wanted to share. I'm so excited to start saving and investing money while owing nothing and doing it in a common sense way so as to get ahead in my life. Great. Edit also destroyed last credit card and closed the account after consolidating my debt onto my line of credit a few weeks ago, which, as I mentioned, is now paid off. Okay, great. I'm curious. I mean, why did you go through the trouble of doing that? Well, I mean, that could have been a year ago or something like that. And that could have been much longer than just recently. Because, you don't need to do that 1 month and move it and then pay it off the next month. No need to do that. Just pay it off. I'm curious if I should keep that line open or should I close it? Well, from what you know about Mr. Ramsey, what do you think? I'm leaning towards closing it as I know I'm not a credit person. Well, you should lean harder. Hope everyone have a great day, evening. I am always having a good time if I am doing the stream. Love it. Let's get a little agua. Yeah, I mean, further with this person, I would just go over the baby steps with this person to make sure they had a correct assessment of them, so that they don't do anything that the people like to mistake about the baby steps. What up, Matty Bags? What up, Sid? What up, Matty Bags? Hashtag mention. That's from also in the music playlist, the baby stepping song to Levitating by Dua Lipa. 25 debt free and $70,000 in savings stocks. Should I empty my savings to buy a house? No, you need to have a 6-month emergency fund before you even start saving the down payment. 25-year-old woman. I worked through college. Congratulations. Excellent. Commuted from home and saved everything I could, minus paying bills, car insurance, groceries for my dad, etc. Should I take all of my stocks to buy a home in a cheaper state or wait? If it's in a retirement account, you do not cash it out Mr. Ramsey would advise that you sell single stocks and get into mutual funds in your retirement account. So it depends. That depends on that. If it's single stocks in a brokerage account, you can use it for that, but you need the 6-month emergency fund first. Single, looking for a husband though. Okay, good luck with that. And debt free, fabulous. Bring up Mr. Ramsey on the first date. I'm thinking about going back to school for nursing or an allied health field because my business degree is useless and hopefully you didn't pay that much. Debt free though, so maybe paid for it as you went, but that's still sad that you got a useless degree. I am only making $20 an hour right now, but seeking to move to a cheaper state. I'm stuck in New England, and the coast will take money away from you, for sure. Thank you for any advice. Seeking advice from people who have lived some life already. My Gen Z peers aren't much help. Well, they would probably refer you to a TikTok video that tells you how to wheel and deal and scheme and scam and such like that. But what would Dave do? Dave would do the baby steps. And people don't like to hear that. They don't like to hear that. Oh, what do you mean? There's a pre-done advice for me. What do you mean? You mean it's not tailored specifically to me? How dare you? But no, this works for everybody. And so, again, this person, I would explain the thing between stocks and mutual funds, Mr. Ramsey's reasonings on that. But also, I would not buy a house upon moving to another state. Rent there for a year to make sure you want to stay there. I understand a cheaper state than New England. That's highly advised. Buying a house right out of the gate is not what I would recommend. Rent there for a year, and then you can find out where you actually want to live within that area, if anywhere. If not, then you try it again in some other area. And this is 25 years old, and this is 25 years and purchased a home, need some advice. This is Tesla to the moon. All right, the kids with their to the moon thing. Too many memes, kids. I recently purchased a home from a family member for $170,000. It was owned in a trust and transferred to one of my parents, so I don't have a traditional mortgage, just a promissory note that I owe $170K at 7% interest. So you're paying the trust. Oh, it was owned in a trust and transferred to one of your parents. So that would be bad if your name is not on the deed. And if your parents' name still is on there. So I would try to get that fixed immediately. If you are the only one on the hook for it, then it doesn't need to be in their name. I'm in the process of renovating and updating some parts of the home. For what purpose? The only debt I have is $30K on a car loan, and so you're not doing any of this dumb crap while you have $30K on a car loan. There's no home buying, there's no renovating and updating part of the house either, which will be paid off in 4 years. We don't go by what the debt says. By the minimum payment amount, we don't go by that. We go by you pay it off ASAP. Are you familiar with the baby steps, ma'am? Mr. Ramsey's the no debt guy. Have about $140K in cash. You doing it wrong. Pay that car off immediately. $100K of the note. No, you get rid of your non-mortgage debt first. Dumb as crap. Which would allow me to pay the home off completely. $140K. Bought it for $170, so that's still $30. Where's the other 30 coming from? Oh, in 6 years, at $1,200 a month payments, and still have some funds left over. So if you haven't done this yet, I'm gonna say that's gonna be a no for me, dog, unless you can get it specifically in your name and not just the promissory note, the promissory note. Sorry. Um, and so you need to have your name on the title, on the deed. And the parents aren't involved in it anymore. Cause so much stuff can happen bad in families when stuff like that happens. Is it worth it to pay this off as fast as I can, or keep a chunk of it in an investment account? Yes, you would not have extra savings above your emergency fund, in order to your debt leverage in the house that way. So you would pay off the house before you have any extra in savings beyond the emergency fund and whatever sinking funds you deem necessary. But there's no extra investing other than the 15% of gross income. But first you need that emergency fund. So baby steps in order. Once more, imagine that. Imagine that. Imagínese, something like that. The Spanish for it. Let's see, before we abandon the Reddit. I have other questions, don't worry. Just making sure. Nope, that's from 3 hours ago. That was the last one. All right, so now we're going to go to the Ramsey Baby Steps community, and I grab questions from there. And I don't just read it straight from there because it has people's actual names with those posts, and so I just get the questions from there. Bank account newlyweds. We have separate accounts. He has one personal check, one business checking. I have one personal account, one business checking. I've told him we should get rid of my personal checking and join his personal checking, put our incomes in there for bills, etc., and then pay ourselves a fixed amount to our Venmo or CashApp for personal expenses. He was so hard-headed about having me join his money, WTH. Well, you know what? So you see, what you do, kids, is you do not wait until you get married to have this discussion. And as I often say, and people think I'm kidding, I'm not. You bring up Dave Ramsey on the first date, and that way you find out if there's going to be a problem such as this crap. Let's see. Oh, I finally convinced him. Okay, well, that's great, but did it wrong by waiting. Am I going the right way about this? Yeah, I mean, you guys can have different business checkings if you have two different businesses. I'm assuming that's two different businesses, one each. So, but you would have your personal finances together. Baby step number 3, and saving for a house after. Okay. Oh, that's it for that. Yeah, and so yeah, that's what you do. You after you get married, you combine finances. That includes combining into the same checking, or you can even have two different accounts, but both people need to have full access to both accounts. The business checking, if it's just for the business, that's only all you use it for. Each individual business, those can stay separate. So yeah, so glad you kind of convinced him, and so that is what you should do. Debt free, for not including the mortgage, for the first time since 2007. Baby step 3, baby. Paid $26,000 off in 6 months by saying no to everything, and that is the advice. For sure. First time in my life, I have had $10K in the bank, high yield saving emergency fund. high yield savings account, and people love to do this so they can get the most interest, and I get that. But the problem is, it's your emergency fund, and most emergencies do not wait 1 to 3 days for a transfer, so that's why you got to keep it liquid. So if your high yield savings account does not offer debit card access or check writing privileges to it, then that's a no for your emergency fund. But congratulations on having that amount. Took my suit to the cleaners who wanted to charge me $15. So I gave my suit to the charity shop next door. They cleaned and pressed it and put it in the window, and the person bought it back for $4.50. So they work in the system there on the cleaning and pressing. Very nice. Just wanted to see if I'm doing okay. I'm proud to be debt free. I'm a single mom by choice with 1 year old and want to set us both up to be financially secure in the future. I don't remember if this is the same person or not. So here I obviously don't have enough information, but the debt free part is good anyway. But let's see if this is the same person. Baby step 4, 5, and 6 make $100,000 a year. After contributions, I bring home about $4,300 a month. I'm contributing 15%, a combination of Vanguard Roth IRA, my pension, and 2 403Bs. All right. The pension amount of contribution only counts as half of the percentage. So if you're putting in 5% of your gross income into that pension, that only counts for 2.5% towards the 15% that Mr. Ramsey recommends. Pensions don't make as much as the market. That's why. 11.5K in emergency fund, 18K in Roth, 48K in 403B, and my daughter's 529. I have about $5,700. I have no consumer debt. Great. But I owe $225 on my house with 30-year at 3.125. Currently, it's worth about $400K. All right, and so what you need to do is pay that off like it's a 15. So you need to be paying more on that. Since you're on 4, 5, and 6, all you have to do is that investing, and you are doing the daughter's 529. So you keep up with that, and any extra you have, you put extra on the house. How do I go about trying to pay out my house off early? How you do that is you do not spend that money on anything else. Again, the priorities are 4, 5, and 6, but depending if the child is just a toddler at this point, then you have some time on that, and you can maybe even pay the house off. Hopefully, pay the house off before the child goes to college at all. So then you'll have that mortgage payment amount that you can use to cash flow the college with as well. How do I go about trying to pay the costs off early? Like I said, and this is always the answer, that you do not spend money on anything else. Basic expenses are about $3,500 a month. So that only leaves $800 a month out of $100,000 a year. So I'm going to cut things out of the budget. When I retire around age, I guess this is all the same one. When I retire around age 60, I'm 42 now, I'll get minimum of 70 to 75K a year. I'm a teacher and love to travel in the summer. Any thoughts on goals moving forward? I love the idea of becoming a baby steps millionaire. I'm following the baby steps, but really just don't know exactly what that's going to look like in 20, 30, etc. years. In 20 years, you should have the house paid off. If you can't pay it off in 20 years, that's too much house. So thank you for insight. Need some motivation and concrete goals. Get that budget down. Cut stuff out of your budget. $800 a month, that would not be satisfactory to me. because then you're basically just paying off the house as a 30-year mortgage, and that's not advised. So, and if you had to get the 30-year mortgage in order to afford the monthly payment, which it sounds like may be the case, then you bought too much house. And so you really have to sacrifice in other areas to keep that house so you don't have to sell it. And if you did sell it, you would get 175-ish K as because that's how much equity you have in it, apparently. So you don't necessarily have to do that, but you have to change some stuff because you can't have $800 be all you are putting to where I'm assuming it's $800 after the contributions to the retirement and maybe to the kid college as well. That could be already taken out as well of that amount, but only $800 per month. That's not that much. So I would see what else you can cut out of the budget so you can get that house paid for well in advance, and then you will be in a great position, and then it will look fairly decently in 20, 30, etc. years. Great to be part of such an amazing group. Thanks. Looking for some advice, please. My wife and I are on baby steps 4, 5, and 6. Have interviewed 3 different house cleaners to get some help since we are both full-time with a toddler and one on the way due in December. We liked 2 out of the 3, and they are wanting to charge $500 to $700 to do an initial deep clean, and then $200 to $260 for routine cleaning every 3 weeks. I have a checklist I created of things I want done, but we think both prices are too high for our home. Okay, keep meeting with people. Otherwise, the going rate may be higher than you think you want to pay. And then in that case, guess what you're free to do is clean it your darn selves. Home 2-level, 2,200 square feet, 4-bedroom with 2.5 baths. 4 bedrooms and 2.5 baths for a couple and a toddler. Overkill on that? Does this sound reasonable? I don't know. I've never had a cleaning crew. Also, if there are any Ramsey followers in the North Indianapolis area that do this full part-time and are taking new clients, please let me know. Thanks all. All right. And I mean, the routine cleaning every 3 weeks. Yeah, since it's like not a weekly thing. So you got to think about like that. You got to think about what it is. So it's like over the 3 weeks, it would cost $260. And so if they came in and did spot cleaning every week, that would be out of the $260. That would be $85, something like that. Between $80 and $90. Yeah, so like 85-ish dollars there a week. And so if they were doing the spot cleaning every week instead of once every 3 weeks. So I don't know, that may be the going rate and you just don't want to pay that much. So you just have to continue to look into it to see if there are others out there that charge less. I bought a used 2009 Camry less than a year ago. Only put 5K miles on it. The engine just died and I still owe $8K. One should sell as is and use that to continue to pay off the loan. Yes. To keep the car and save to repair it while still paying the loan off. No, there's no need to do that dumb crap. Pay the loan off first, then save to repair. Yes. Well, if you're gonna save it, yes, you would pay the loan off first and then save to repair it. But you work from home, so you don't need a vehicle. If you need a vehicle, you sell it as is. and get whatever you can out of it, and then you get a very cheap car again. What would y'all do? Hi all, we got a check from House Insurance for switching insurance companies, okay? Our new insurance is cheaper. So in turn, we would normally send the difference to our mortgage company. However, we had them run a new escrow check, okay? Our escrow check was pretty full, actually, okay? That's better than not being full enough. The amount only went up $70 a month. Option 1. They said if we want to send the insurance money, they would put it in escrow. Our monthly mortgage payment would go down $145 a month. Option 2 is to keep the money, $3,700, and pay down debt. You could do that as well. You got to make sure you budget enough for the insurance, though, when it is due. Option 3, pay some on the escrow and some on the debt. I wouldn't do that. I would pick one or the other to do. If you don't handle money well and might not have the insurance payment money when it's due, then go ahead and put it in escrow, so that takes it out of your hands, and so it will definitely get paid. But otherwise, using that money to pay down debt, I would do. And then you just have to make sure you can cash flow the insurance, or saving up for the insurance by the time it's due. We have our $1,000 emergency fund. My husband works in the movies, and with the strikes this year, we've had to use our 6-month savings. Was that this year? That was earlier this year. I own a photography business, but focus on being mom, so I don't bring in a ton regularly. Should we start paying off debt or begin saving for these 6 months of living expenses again? If you have non-mortgage debt, let's see. I wonder if the baby steps answer this question. Hey, look at that. The baby steps do answer this question. It says save $1,000 for your start emergency fund, and then for step 1, and then step 2 is to pay off all debt except the house, all non-mortgage debt, and you do that using the debt snowball. It does not say save 3 to 6 months of expenses before that, and so it's just a thing where it doesn't exactly say. So I guess you can't really get mad at the people for not understanding, and they just think that they have to do all of them at the same time. Or if they're only looking at the first 3, they think they have to do that at the same time as well. But that's a no. You only have $1,000 while you still have non-mortgage debt. You don't have the extra that you will in your full emergency fund. There's no step 3 before step 2 is done. Step 1, 2, and 3 in order, 1 at a time. We know he's worked through June. Great. And then, or if there will be another strike. Why would there be another strike? And it's saying, I guess it's another year. Depends on how long the agreement is for. If they're under agreement for a certain time, there shouldn't be another strike. Working on getting more consistent photography work. Okay. Yeah, but you would do the same thing until at least through June. But as it gets closer to June, and you have any idea what the job situation will be like, you know what might have to happen? Husband might have to get a job where they don't strike so darn much. How about that? Yeah, you don't get to just do exactly what you want to do and then hope the world works around you. That's not how it works. So if you cannot afford to be on strike, then you might not be able to do that job anymore. One proud mom, baby girl, age 23, just bought her first car. Cash, of course, just 44,000 miles on it. We are traveling for Thanksgiving and got a rental car at the airport. The clerk insisted on a credit card, and I kept saying, run this like a credit card. Put a hold on it. I don't have a credit card. My son was with me and gave him his credit card. which got a $500 hold on it. I wanted to go all Karen on him, but after 16 hours of traveling, didn't have much fight in me left. All right. After we walked out, my 14-year-old daughter said, "Mom, you could have just paid cash for the car right now." That was stupid of them. Okay, so the baby said you could have just paid cash for the car right now. That was stupid of the car rental. From the mouths of babe, yes, I have enough in savings to buy the car. Okay. Just wanting others, renting a car this holiday season. I've never had a problem before. I've been booked online, but it would let me play. You mean it wouldn't? A lot of people try to do the wouldn't, and it ends up staying would. Don't know if that's just a typo then. I would hope, but you never know. This was Dollar Thrifty Rental Cars, which is why they are not a sponsor of the Ramsey Show anymore, like they used to be when they accepted debit cards. Question for the group: at 59.5, should I pull from my Roth account to pay off my house? That's a no. That's for your retirement. So that's a no. Contributing 20%, approximately $2,300 a month. So while your house is not paid off, you should only be contributing 15%. So that leaves more money to put towards the house. Want to work 3 more years, $150K left on the mortgage. Right now I gross $148K a year. I'll have a pension that pays $1,600 a month for life. All right, and so if the pension contribution amount is included in this 20%, then it may not be at 20% because the pension only counts as half. The pension contribution amount, whatever percentage that is, that only counts as half. So if that's at 5%, towards the 15%, it only counts as 2.5%. Yay. My balance went from $21.75 to $19.95 once the payment goes through that I made yesterday. Great. 2 credit cards almost completely cleaned off out of the 5 I have. 51 would be a lot. 3 of the credit cards have 0% balances. I'm so proud. Yep, good job. You shouldn't be paying extra on them both at the same time. You pay extra on the lowest one only and minimum payments to everything else. Why does home equity count as part of your true net worth? Because that's if your net worth is if you cashed out everything right now, that's what you would have. That's what that means. Minus your liabilities, of course. Any debt is a negative. But that's something you're locking yourself into. To define net worth, you would take the equity out of the house, assuming you're going to sell it, to determine your net worth. And so on non-mortgage debt, it doesn't work like that. That's just subtracted from your net worth. The way it would be is if you bought something that's worth money, then you can include that as an asset of what it would actually sell for if you use the debt to buy that. But again, that's, none of that is the advice. Doesn't it imply that you have access to that money when you really don't, unless you sell or take out a second mortgage? That's not what net worth means. So I love people that do overthinking. I do my share of overthinking, but it's normally about dumb stuff, and it's not about finances. I don't overthink finances like this, and I tend to, if there's a definition for a word, I don't start trying to find other ways to define it. So home worth $1 million is almost like Monopoly money, which is fake. Curious to thoughts of others. No, because you can sell it. You do not take out a second mortgage. You sell the house, and then, of course, you would have to rent or whatever. But that is not how you determine net worth. So I didn't make it up. Don't blame me if you don't think it makes sense. You take that up with whoever made it up, but that's the way it goes. Doesn't matter that your brain can't process it, or you don't actually like it and you want it to be something else. That doesn't matter. What's everyone's financial goals for 2025? Excuse me. How did everyone do for 2024? Would love to share the positivity and help inspire others as we go into the more stressful, excuse me, hashtag season. Here's mine. 24, cut up and cancel all credit cards and paid off all the credit card debt. Paid off over $26,000 of total consumer debt. Went from $100K in debt to now at $74K. Also doubled my income, doubling it. What up, Troy Story? Wherever you are. This year compared to 2023, small business owner here, and it's been a rough fall, but I know 2025 will be better, okay? And at least I haven't added to debt. Right, you've subtracted from it, which is the only way that should go. You don't go into debt for anything at this point. Or ever. The only exception would be a house that you live in. Let's see, 2025 financial goal. Plan to double my income again this year, doubling it again. That would be quadrupling it altogether. Stretch goal would be to pay off $74K remaining debt, but a more realistic goal would be to pay off my car, $16K, 2 personal loans, $29K, 45. Does that say how much you made? Nope, just says doubled it. 16K, 2 personal loans, and just have my student loans left in 2026. All depends on income I can bring in. Sure. Pay all quarterly tax bills for business, plus have tax savings sinking fund going on. Okay, great. Good to be able to pay the IRS what you owe them. Have our fully funded savings to pay for labor and delivery in full, cash for our baby boy this spring. I paused the baby steps and I'm in stork mode. That's right. So you shouldn't be paying extra on debt right now either. Then you just pay minimums. And you're piling up cash. Should have this all saved by January, February, then back to debt-free plan starting in March. And you don't just save what the labor delivery is. You save everything until mom and baby are home safe from the hospital. So another person that thinks they understand things, but they don't understand things. My son, 9 years old, has gotten a very small inheritance from his great-grandpa. It's $1,000. Start an emergency fund. I listened to family, and put in a CD for 5 years, and now it's $11.30. The CD expires in a couple of weeks. Any suggestions on what to do with it? Well, you can lock him into college by doing a 529 plan or ESA, or if you want to keep it liquid, like it should be, really. If you want to just say, okay, that's his money, he might need it for a car or something one day. And if you're going to let him spend it whenever he wants to, it might go for a game console, but that'll be a game console or computer or something like that you don't have to pay for, so that's up to you. So I would recommend probably a high yield savings account for that, and then you can add other money to that over the years. CD is not going to be that much. As you can see, over 5 years it was $130. My 14-year-old has asked for debit card for Christmas. Apparently, the favorite way to pay for babysitting these days is Venmo, okay? We're looking for a resource or bank that would be easy for us to deposit money into and possibly have some functionality to help a teenager learn how to budget. That's a lot to ask from a bank. If you like your bank, you can just open it there. And that would be a 14-year-old, so that would be a custodial account. that you would be in charge of, but her name would be on it. For those of you that open debit cards for your teenagers, did you just attach it to your bank account, or did you use one kid version debit cards? All right. We like to put in all the words usually. Thanks for your insight. Yeah, they have, again, I would keep it separate and do it as a custodial account, not as some offshoot of your account. But your name would be on both the kids account and your regular account as well. And so you can, if you like your bank, you can do it through them, or you can pick another bank. Tax withholding question. Currently I have $0 tax withheld in my paycheck, not including Social Security and Medicare, but still get a large refund every year due to dependents and other credits. Okay. Is there any way to adjust my W-4 where they'll pay me each month in my paycheck, or do I have to wait for tax season for a large check? You got to wait. I know the goal is to have your refund be as close to zero. I just don't know if it's possible since I'm already not paying anything. Yeah, you're not going to get the government to pay you in advance on that. Sorry. So you got to wait till you file, and then you'll get it back. Sorry about that. Not really. I just said I'm sorry about it. Needing advice, please. I hate even talking about this or focusing on this because the situation sucks. But my mom is sick, and after she passes away, I will be getting around $150,000. They're going over her will today, and I just got off of the phone with her. She wants me to pay off my student loans around $30,000 and then put a down payment on a bigger house. With that money, I will also be able to pay off the rest of my debt, which is just hospital bills from having a baby and $2,000 toward my daughter's surgery she had done for her teeth. I don't have any debt other than that, okay? I'd like to plan ahead and be prepared for when this time comes. I don't want to blow the money on whatever. I would like to continue living the way we have been on what we make now. Okay, well, you do that. And then you'll have, I mean, if you're not getting the money until she passes, so then you can apply it to whatever baby step you're on. Let's see, plan ahead and be prepared for the time to come. I don't want to blow the money on whatever. I would like, yeah, do that. I said that already. Minus maybe a few house updates, paint and windows. I wouldn't do that either. Don't do that either. You need to be doing the baby steps instead of house updates. If we end up selling our house at some point in the next couple of years, since she would like us to have a bigger house. You don't have to buy a bigger house just because mom wants you to do that with the money. Now, if she's actually requiring that you do that as a stipulation, that you get a new mortgage on a bigger house, then I would decline that portion of the money. Because you don't need a bigger house just because she gives you some of the money. I want to be smart with the money I get from her. Right. And so, you know, if it's not actually a stipulation of leaving it to you, I would do whatever you want to do with it. But until then, you know, who knows? Who knows? It doesn't matter. She's ill. She could live forever. Well, not forever, but she could live a very long time. So you don't wait for that to happen, and you don't plan things like, oh, I'm not going to pay off my debt because I'll have that money coming in. That is dumb as crap, and you do not do that. And I will be getting a lot more in the future. My grandma passes. Also, she's 94 now. What can I do? You can do the baby steps right now, and then when those two monies come in, then you can apply those to the baby steps as well. I know nothing about investing, so I could use all the help I can get when it comes to that. Or how much should I put to start in a retirement fund? I'm self-employed, so I currently don't have one, but need one. Okay, you got debt first. Guess what? If you have $1,000, fabulous. You got step one done. But then step 2 is pay off all debt other than all the non-mortgage debt. So all the debt other than the house, and using the debt snowball, and you don't have to think about anything else yet. It'll all be fine. People love to plan ahead, and in their zest for planning ahead, that's when people are dumb and think, oh, well, I have to do all these steps all at the same time since I'm planning ahead, because I'm seeing all of them now. Just work on 1, 2, and 3, one at a time, because that's how you do them. And you don't concern yourself with the other part. You can learn more about investing if you want to. That's fine. It's called the internet. And you can learn whatever you want to from there. And you can go to YouTube and type in a search, Dave Ramsey Investing. Don't watch the videos that aren't his, because they're probably just complaining about his advice. So, but if it's made by him, then do that. Boom, boom, boom. Popular step 2. Michelle, what up? Yeah, any extra money goes to whatever baby step you were on. Always. Right. The only exception would be, like Sid says, if you have like an upcoming expense that you need to cash flow, you're gonna have to do that regardless. So there's no need to send it to debt and then have to save up other money to do that. So you can go ahead and, like, if you know you have to pay something in February, you can keep it for that particular expense. Otherwise, you just put it to whatever baby step you're on, which is the popular step 2. Oh, don't have one but need one. No, you don't. You don't need a retirement fund yet. Guess why? So if you look at the baby step, so you see, you're on step 2. That's paying off all debt, non-mortgage debt. And then step 3 is a full emergency fund. And until you get these 2 done one at a time, you are not investing yet. So, but it says it right there. Yeah, but you do not do it at the same time. You do steps 1, 2, and 3, one at a time, in order, before moving to the next one or even thinking about higher steps. Steps 4, 5, and 6 you do all at the same time if they apply. If you don't have kids, or if you decide not to help them, then 5 doesn't apply to you. If you are going to be a renter for life, step 6 doesn't apply to you, and that's a quicker way to get to step 7. You don't have, you have a rent payment the rest of your life, instead of being at a point where you would have the house paid off and you wouldn't have a mortgage payment. But that's up to you. You don't have to buy a house, not a law. I feel like, for me, David Ramsey's Financial Peace University course should be an option for high school credits. Well, they actually have a course that is in 40-some% of America's high schools that is called Foundations in Finance. And so, yeah, and somebody put, I remember when I copied that, I remember seeing somebody put as a comment on there, it should not be optional. It should be required, and of course it should be. And it needs to be in 100% of America's schools, for sure. Oh, all right. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. Hour and 15 minutes already. All righty. So once more, I am Coach Steve Money, and I might do another one tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, the December 8th. And so may do another stream. Fun times. YouTube.com/CoachDMoney is where you're watching this. And on the main page, you just scroll down and you can see the Ramsey Show After Show and Answering Your Financial Questions playlists. And then plus there's the music playlist that has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. Now, singing is not my regular job. But it's close enough. And of course, as always, if you can do a better job singing any of these songs, record yourself singing it. I'll be happy to play it on the after show. Alrighty. I think I said it before, but I'll say it again. I am a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. That's me, Coach Steve Money. And if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, like a choo-choo, 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 you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com. That information is in the ticker below and also in the video description. Calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. You can email me about coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel at coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/Coach Steve Money. Alternatively, to CashApp $Coach Steve Money or Walmart gift card to that email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams maybe for tomorrow at 4 p.m. And definitely Ramsey Show After Show until further notice, Monday through Friday, each weekday, following each YouTube Ramsey Show until that leaves the YouTube at 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time, and that's when I start up. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. If you've done that already, thank you so very much. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.